For Clemson, head coach Brad Brownell. Student athletes are Gabe DeVoe and Shelton Mitchell. And we will begin with a statement from Coach Brownell.
Terrific win for our team. Thought our guards, especially these two guys, just played outstanding. The game was a little bit different in both halves. I thought in the first half, both teams were really excited, ready to play, got after each other a little bit. And the second half, they really changed the way the game was. They started trapping and pressing because they got down, made it aggressive, and really they turned it into a game where players have to make plays. And fortunately for us, our guards are good enough to do that. Thought we did a good job of attacking the paint, playing out of the paint, and finished it off with a pretty good job defensively.
Questions for the student athletes?
Abraham Jewett, Daily Aztec. Shelton, talk about the Aggies. They kind of made a run there at the end, got within 6 points, and then you kind of took it upon yourself to put them away there. What was that? What was that about?
Really just being aggressive. Coach called a lot of good plays, and I knew we just had to execute. So the execution was key in that situation.
Did you feel like it was up to you in that moment because you scored 7 straight points?
No, not really. Like you said, we have a bunch of good guys on our team. Really, we all can make plays at any time. Today just so happened to be me.
Mark Rudy, Lusker Sun News for Gabe and Shelton. I know you guys had said that you guys hadn't worried about all the talk that you guys were going to get upset, but I'm just curious, did that fuel you guys at all, just being, I guess, sort of in the national tension in that light all week?
Not really. I mean, you heard about it a lot, but we just worry about the guys in the locker room to come out and play every game the same. So we just came out, stayed to our game plan, came out with a win.
Derek Gonzalez from the New Mexico State University Roundup. This is for both of you guys. New Mexico State came into the game as one of the better defensive teams in the country. It seemed like you guys were seemingly scoring at will at times in the game. Were they? Was it just game planning this week in practice that led to the good offensive performance, or did you guys kind of get caught off guard by your own shooting performance on the court tonight?
Not really. I think they came out aggressive, tried to deny a couple passes, and they opened up driving lanes for us. We did a great job of finishing plays around the rim.
Yeah, really. Like he said, basically, we just knew we had to be aggressive with the ball, be strong with it. They're a feisty team, so really just playing strong at all times on offense.
You guys have seen a lot of good guards, obviously playing in the ACC. What are you guys' thoughts on Zach Lofton? I know he, got going a little bit in the second half. Can you guys just talk about the kind of player, he was against you guys tonight?
Yeah, that was my matchup starting off. So he's a good guard. I just try to make his early shots tough to mess up his rhythm, try to get in his head a little bit. We're just staying aggressive, not giving him any easy looks.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Okay. Go. And now we'll continue with Coach Brownell.
Or not.
Kyle Bonneger at ESPN.com. This isn't related to your game, but I was wondering if I'm sure it's been brought to your attention by now that Virginia lost. Did you?
Know.
So Virginia lost, first number 1 seed to ever drop a game in the tournament. Do you have a kind of a reaction to that?
Well, obviously I'm surprised. I've got the utmost respect for Coach Bennett, their program, their staff, and players and what they do. They lost DeAndre Hunter, who's probably their most talented front court player. And I know from experience that our first game after losing our most talented player was not a good one. We went to Virginia and lost by 25. It's extremely difficult to kind of adjust on the run. So I just know that that's hard. But obviously a lot of credit goes to the team that they played because I know how good Virginia is and it's hard to beat them. But I also think it's another example of, college basketball has changed in terms of the landscape of talent. There's more better players than ever. And the differences between 1s and 16s is narrowed just like 2s and 15s and 3s and 14s and all that. You know, I said earlier, I don't think there's a big difference. 4-13, 5-12, 6. I just don't think there's a difference anymore. Obviously, 1-16 there is probably, but you know, I didn't see anything about it. But it certainly is surprising.
Abraham Jewett, Daily Aztec. What does it say about the team that you guys were able to withstand the comeback there at the end?
I have good players. You know, our guys have been through a lot this year. There's been a lot on those three guys, Marquise, Shelton, and Gabe. They've had to shoulder the load in a lot of situations, obviously, ever since Dante, you know, was injured. And they're good guys. They can play. I mean, we just give them space and tell them sometimes to go make plays. It's as simple as that. You know, I'm just proud of our guys for believing in our team, believing in our what we do, how we do things. Our preparation was extremely good this week. Our guys were very focused, and I knew we would play well. And I think we showed that today. We weren't surprised at all by what we saw, and I wasn't surprised by how well our players played. You know, this is a big-time atmosphere that we haven't been in a while, but I think our guys showed that they're more than capable and ready to be in this environment.
Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal. Brad, you said you weren't surprised. You knew what they were about. And Jamario Jones ends up with his 14 rebounds. Zach Lofton ends up with his 29 points. That was kind of I would think, the top of the scouting report for a team like New Mexico State. But they got 15 of their 24 made field goals. Was it sort of a game plan of let them do their thing and stop everybody else? Was it something more specific than that?
I don't know if it was exactly that. We knew that Jones was going to get a bunch of rebounds. We just didn't want him to be putbacks for points, and I don't think many of them were. He got a couple, one right first play of the second half, and we knew that Lofton would probably get 18 to 22 points, but we wanted him to shoot a lot of shots to get them, and he had 29, which, you know, we didn't do as well as we needed to do in that scenario. He took 12 threes, which is a lot, and was 4 for 12. So I thought defensively we did a lot of good things in the game. We made them really work, and it's always harder to defend when you're up 14 or 16 in the middle of a second half against guys like that who are coming at you aggressively. It's just the nature of basketball. It's hard to hold on to leads like this. And, you know, I thought our guys withstood it pretty well, and I was pleased with the way we rebounded the ball today and made plays down the stretch against a very good, aggressive team.
Derek Gonzalez from the New Mexico State University Roundup. Coach, congratulations on the win. I know coming into the week, like Mark just said, with the student athletes, that there was a lot of talk on New Mexico State kind of being the trendy upset pick. Did you kind of use that as a motivating factor in practice this week, or was that really even talked about?
We mentioned it, but really it wasn't. We're not like some big chip on our shoulder, underdog and all that. Like, we really talked about at the beginning of the season that we didn't concern ourselves with we're picked 13th in our league and nobody believes in us, and because none of that really matters. And it doesn't really matter in these games if you go in there as a coach and give them the big Newt Rockne speech and tell them all that. 3 minutes into the game, they've forgotten all that, and it's all about making plays. So for us, it's more about preparing the right way, believing in what we're doing, believing in each other, and then executing our game plan, which that's way more important than worrying about what's said around the outside.
In the back.
Tim Booth from the AP. Brad, it'd been a while since you guys had shot the ball that well. I think NC State maybe was the last time you guys shot more than 50%. Did you have a sense that kind of offensive efficiency was coming, and why was your offense so good tonight?
The nature of the way they play, we talked a lot about taking the ball to the basket, going to the paint, that if they're going to deny passes and make it hard around the perimeter and take away some of our threes, that you're going to have to attack the basket. And we did that. You know, some teams guard pack line, their pressure. And, you know, we wanted a mix of interior touches with our post players. We wanted drives to the paint. We wanted to shoot more free throws than we did. But I do think our big, strong guards, our guys are athletic. We're able to get in there and make plays and finish plays. And I think that's, you know, one of the differences we play in that ACC every game is like that. You're going up against big guys, strong guys, and that's not easy to do. And so we're used to competing against those kind of athletes and attacking the basket like that.
Mark Rudy, Lusker, Sun News. Coach, I want to say New Mexico State cut it to 6 with about 5 minutes to go, and you guys just responded to every run. Was there anything specific you said to you guys during the timeout, or just?
No, not really. I think we spread it out a little bit. We kind of stopped calling plays. The longer the game went, the less plays we ran, and the more we just allowed our guys the freedom to go make plays. Just get out of each other's way a little bit, because I think it was easier to play in space than it was to try to run action and trying to force passes and do different things against that kind of pressure. I just didn't think was as productive. And I thought, when you do that, you got to have good players that can go make the plays. And fortunately for me, we do.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.